Hey friends, I'm going to pull a few cards for you at the end of this video, but before that, this is a get to know me video. Get to know the channel, and because I'm always talking to you about you, so I'll talk a little bit about me. I'm Queer Astrology Tarot, and I live in Brooklyn, New York. I am a millennial, but I'm on like the older side, or like the beginning of the millennials. I'm not gonna share my big three yet. It's gotta be a teaser. Kind of like the idea behind like no free toes, like no free big three. Maybe like when we hit a landmark, 500 subscribers or like 200 watch hours or something, I'll like drop the big three. So I've been reading cards since I was a kid. So for many, many years, like over 30 years, I started my energy work training when I was probably like, I don't know, 3 or 4 years old. It's one of my earliest memories. I've been doing that my whole life. So spirituality, psychic abilities have always been something that has been a thread of my being and understanding of the world, as is science. I have been reading for a long time. I'm uh, sensitive in terms of energy. I've got a very rich spiritual life outside of these cards. I'm not going to talk a whole lot about all of it, just because not everything's for the internet. But I will talk about that I am spirit initiated into a shamanic tradition from my ancestors, from my ancestral line. What does that mean? Being spirit initiated means that I have been through a ceremony, like a ritual, and I have been through trials, some training, and learning a lot of lessons about the threads of the universe and the multiverse and all the stuff and all the energies and everything like that. When you go through an initiation ceremony in a lot of different traditions, there's some sort of kind of blessing or of like protection, like energetic spiritual protection that comes along with your initiation. And in my specific shamanic lineage, we focus a lot on what we do in the astral realm. And so that means the spiritual energy goes in and out of the body very frequently. That can have an effect on your body, the moving in and out of your spiritual energy, moving in and out of your body. And kind of think about it like a glass blower. Anybody can go and start blowing glass. But if you don't have the training to know how to use the tools, and B, the protection, one of those gloves for the heat, then you're going to get burned. Anybody can make something beautiful with glass, but without those two factors, then you get injured. You want to think a lot about when you're doing energy work or like spell work, whatever that looks like to you. So it could be prayers, it could be manifestations, it could be rituals, it could be candles, it could be lighting incense, it could be like writing a note and putting it like under your bed or under your pillow at night and asking your ancestors to help you, or you're like helping spirits and stuff. There's a lot of different ways we can do spells, but if the deeper you go and to the more complexities within doing energy work, I like to call it, but like spells is how people understand it, you can get hurt, you can get burned. So just keep that in mind. A spiritual initiation, when you start to study a tradition, that helps you a lot to be able to grow within your craft of this like spiritual tradition, and also doing that like energy work. Because remember, this environment, earth, that we as we understand it, is very much vibrational based. There's big giant magnets on each side of our round earth, so everything is vibrational here, and anybody can tap into that, but without the proper like trainings and protections, you can get hurt, like physically hurt. I mean, you might see my shorts and you might see a little bit more videos like this of me talking about Santa Muerte. Don't get scared. Santa Muerte is the personification of death. Her energies have control over everything that is living because she brings over into death. And a lot of people are afraid of her because there's a lot of like Black Santa Muerte out. Black Santa Muerte, I mean the version of her wearing a black robe, because the different colors of her robe indicate different energies. And the black one, well, it can come hard and fast and it can be intense. But that's not all that she is. She's actually very much a mother. She's with you during this time when A, nobody actually knows what happens when, you're dying. B, she's with you during that time of mystery and when you might be most scared, when your spiritual energy is leaving that physical body. And so she's there with you. And if you have built up energies around you in this life that are not great, if you've done things that have harmed people, meeting her might not be the best experience, because she lives life through us. And when we do things that are not nice, when we do things that are harmful, she feels that energy too, and she doesn't like it. Why? Nobody likes that. And so when you're like having these experiences in life where you're happy and you're nice to people and you're giving and you give people the benefit of the doubt and you try and all of these things and you protect and you listen to people when they tell you something, when you're doing all of those things, all of these attributes, Santa Muerte is very happy. That adds up to what your transition will be like. In life, if you are somebody that works with her, then she will be very happy when you're, crossing over. It's going to be like meeting a friend, sort of, that you've done that you've had these great experiences with. I probably will be talking about her a lot because I've been working with her for over a decade and have spent a lot of time and energy learning about her, reading about her, not just on the internet. I have multiple books. Most of the information that I have gathered on her that is not from other people has been from physical books. So I have physical reference books that I use for her because, anybody can post anything on the internet. And so you just have to be really careful with what you see and you believe and things like that. So why I started this page, Queer Astrology Tarot, is a page where I share my gift of reading cards and like tapping into energies and things with my community. And the reason I want to do that is because queer folks, in particular trans folks, and specifically from the legislative side in the United States and many other countries, transgender children are under attack. It's even more intense if if your skin is black or brown, and specifically Black trans women experience a significant amount of violence. And so I wanted to start a channel that provides a positive outlook on life, specifically for my community, but for anybody that it resonates for, who also loves and respects queer and trans people, then you're welcome here too. Really, my goal and hope is that people walk away from these readings and they're smiling and they feel hopeful for the day, even if the days, or the cards weren't easy. That is my goal. It seems like a lot of y'all's, you're great, your comments have been great, and thank you so much. And you're responding to that. So I'm glad that you know you can come here and you can count on getting a reading that's going to look from this version of this perspective of the glass being half full instead of the glass being half empty. And also, I really want to cultivate a community here. My capacity is really low in terms of in these moments. I just have a lot on my plate outside of this. That's going to change in a little bit. And during the summer, and in particular during Pride Month, I really want to work on cultivating a community of people on this page who can, you know, be their full selves as a queer person or as a trans person, and know that they're safe and feel wanted and welcomed, and like this is somewhere you belong. However, how I build that community, I'm not totally sure yet. So if you have some suggestions, drop them in the comments. But that is my goal right now. I've been talking for, I don't know, 10 minutes or something. Before we pull some oracle cards, we're going to do the Santa Muerte oracle today. A fun fact about me: I love sci-fi, specifically sci-fi by women of color. I am a huge Octavia Butler fan. I recommend her the three-part series. I think it has it's like Mind of My Mind or something. But it's this three-part series and it has this character, Doro. I don't know, Google it. It's amazing. It is my very favorite series, but these three books, you gotta give it a read if you like sci-fi. And another fun fact, music. I listen to a lot of like ambient music, like things that keep me calm. It's kind of like I'm biofeedbacking myself. So I'll listen to sometimes like ocean sounds or forest sounds or just different like really calm like ambient type stuff with not like a lot of beat. And what it does is it helps your brain waves. There's some science about it, but it helps your brain waves to like settle down, which then physically affects your body and helps your like cells and all your stuff just to chill out a little bit more. So I listen to a lot of like ambient music in the background, usually like most of the day, quite honestly. Okay, so if you are watching this, whenever you are watching this is for you. We're gonna pull two or three Santa Muerte oracle cards. Interesting. So we've got 18 and 17. I'm going to read to you and interpret. For 18, sentiments fluid and changeable like water. They are the aspect that characterizes this card, both positively and negatively. Our emotions are the main source of our moods, of our joys and pains. They are the part of us that places us in a receptive and communicative position in regards to the external world, ready to embrace it with open arms. In negative terms, however, they can lead us to close and to isolate ourselves from everything around us, transforming the initial multicolored source into tears. The advice from the dead is to remember to put your heart into what you're doing. Otherwise, the results will be exclusively tied to the satisfaction of your ego and will stagnate in a swamp. What I think this means, collective, is that it's time for you to step in to what you came here for. Number 17, shadow. The level of formation begins with shadow, as if in a reflection of what comes from above, from the darkness card. The shadow represents our occult unconscious, that which silently suggests that we do not perceive and do not know how to listen, but that inevitably influences our thoughts, our emotions, and then on the material plane, our actions. When we are not acquainted with it, we project it externally as a negative component. Thus, we can do nothing but see in binary terms of good and evil, black and white. Your advice from the dead. It is important to start analyzing yourself to gain greater awareness of yourself and your relationships to others. Otherwise, it will be impossible to change and evolve. But it has to do with like the emotions thing. It's like this message to whomever is watching this, step out of those like shadow emotions because it is time for you to step into the rainbow emotions. All right, friends. Queer Astrology Tarot. Thank you for watching this, my welcome video. I'll probably update this in a month or so, but thank you for watching. If you've got any questions, drop them in the comments. And if you have watched my videos, I have shared one of my placements specifically in a video very recently within the past like 3 days. If you watch it, or if you find out what that is, you are the first person to drop in the comments. I will give you a free half-hour reading, like one-on-one. So, get to watching. Thank you, and like, comment, share, subscribe, all the stuff. It really helps the channel and it turns you into a magician because you are magically breathing life into this channel. See you later.